So, hi everyone, welcome back to the Nostalgic Dragon, where I talk about fantasy books, mythological books, and sometimes science fiction. I have a Witcher project going on, as you know, playing the video game, playing the board game, and reading the books. This week I got a number of beautiful Witcher hard cover editions, and I wanted to show you them today and also rant a bit about The Witcher, where I am in the project, and what I feel about the different formats when you can play the video game and you can also read the books and you can play the board game. What are the differences and what are the similarities? So, just a few things about that. Today I visited the science fiction bookstore in Stockholm, and I didn't get anything. And I was looking at different Witcher things, different Malazan things as well. So there are plenty of things nowadays. I was thinking about that. And Malazan and Witcher is an interesting comparison because with Witcher you have everything nowadays. The three formats I mentioned, you have a lot of merch, all from teacups or coffee mugs to necklaces and so on. And with Malazan Book of the Fallen, which is not so established as compared to The Witcher, there is not so much apart from the books. So I think that is interesting. Actually, Malazan, sorry for a bit of Malazan, reminds me more of when I discovered Lord of the Rings as a small child when I found it in the school library. That was something different compared to The Witcher, where you can go through different forms of Witcher versions, and there is also this Netflix series as well. When I try to find the books, I don't want these Netflix versions. You can find books, it says on the cover. No, you can see it on Netflix too. They can be nice, of course, but I think it's nice when they are, free from that. I wanted to show you the books I bought, and I will do that in chronological order. This is The Last Wish, the first book, which I read, made a minor review here on the channel. I'll continue to do that more in depth. Then we have Sword of Destiny, also finished this. This is the beautiful editions. I will show you just in a moment. And then currently reading the Blood of Elves, Witcher. And in here, I think, because that differs from the other two books I showed you, you have this very beautiful map over the Witcher world, so to speak. Actually, for me, I think there are a few spoilers here, especially if you play the video game, because the map in the video game, you only see parts of it. But at the moment, I'm here in Oxenfurt in the book, and I'm in Novigrad. See if I can find that. Maybe I can't. Yeah, here, Novigrad, and the video game. Actually, the video game, I'm a bit wandered astray, you could say, because I'm a bit sidetracked and lured into so many side quests and so many contracts. So I was at Skellige, then I went back to the mainland, so to speak. I went to Novigrad, I was in Velen. I've done some quests in Velen. I've come quite long southern parts of Velen, I think it is, where the monsters, the levels are very, very high. So now I'm back in Novigrad again, trying to maybe adapt to the level I have. I've been, being very courageous and trying to fight griffins and things. I had no chance doing that. Then it's easier to read the books actually because you don't need to level up. One thing with the books that I really enjoy is that some of them at least has this text. I don't know if you can see that so well. I'm holding it for a while so you can pause in the video if you want to read it. It captures the Witcher feeling very good. It says, I'll carry on killing monsters in the ruins of this world until some monsters kill me. That is my fate, my reason, my life, and my attitude to the world. And it is not what I chose, it was chosen for me. I was really attracted and drawn into the books before Blood of Elves because I think the author Sapkowski has a very quick-paced writing style that is very suitable for these kind of short stories that you find in Last Wish and the Sword of Destiny. Here you have a quote from Geralt of Rivia too. I think that also sums up the idea of Witcher so far for me. I think you can see this, and I will read it for you too if you can't. So you can pause, read it for yourself. It says, people like to invent monsters and monstrosities, then they seem less monsters themselves. I think that's a main theme in The Witcher. I won't show you the whole book, but just some artwork. I think this is very beautiful. And I also have some illustrations. See, yeah, I think this is really beautiful. I won't spoil anything. You see Geralt. And then you have show you another one. Yeah, before every short story, the Lesser Evil is quite famous. I understand it to be. You have like a small miniature painting almost. And papers are good if you're interested in that. And this is not, I don't think this is a show off in the sense that if I show some Malazan books, for example, especially from the Subterranean press, they are very expensive, unfortunately. These books are not so expensive. These cost like 30 euro, maybe 32 euro, depends. So not much, I think, not for deluxe edition. Here you have a nice photo painting or drawing as well. I think that's okay. Unfortunately, the delivery companies, those who deliver books here in Sweden, are not so reliable. Usually the book cover can sometimes be a bit damaged. I don't know how it is for you, where you live around the world. I'm interested to hear about that. You can tell me if it works for you or not. I've gone back to traditional booksellers to get copies that looks good when you get them home. Another one. So I think this Last Wish. This is the Last Wish. I will show you the Sword of Destiny front cover, like this. It looks like Yennefer, I suppose. The back says the Sword of Destiny has two blades. You are one of them. But what is the other? White Wolf. So if you read it, you know that it's something to think about. And seems like it's something that carries a question Geralt carries with him. Nice artwork. Then I talked about artwork a few weeks ago. You know, the idea of having the picture in your head. I still believe that, you know, artwork can spoil your own personal journey when reading books, how things look. Still nice to have. I mean, you can still create your own picture in your head. The problem maybe becomes bigger with Lord of the Rings, for example, which is so established. So Aragorn and Legolas is, you know, the way they look, it's difficult not to think about Aragorn as Aragorn in the the movies, but of course there are a lot of artwork and there are a lot of descriptions in the Tolkien's books, so you can still create your own picture. Here is a, I think this is nice, you know, you can read in a lot in this picture. Still, I'm not that well versed in The Witcher as I am in the Malazan Book of the Fallen or the Lord of the Rings, for example. So I think that's just an exciting adventure for me. One difference when reading the book compared to the video game, especially, is that you are seeing things from the outside. I'm not Geralt when I'm reading it, but when I'm playing Witcher 3, I'm Geralt. So that is something very different. So as I showed you, this is the blood of elves, and there are probably a deluxe version on this too, illustrated. This is only the text, so I like that as well, as you know. So you can imagine for yourself. Pages look like this. Yeah, you can see that, right? Very clean. Nice papers. Looks good, smells good, and like a book should. I also got curious because when you read the books Sapkowski has written, you can see here below there is something called the Hussite trilogy. I got curious on that. It's historical fiction with some made up things about the history of Poland, I think Czech Republic, and maybe Austria. I'm not sure. I'm very curious to read those Hussite trilogy. The first book is Tower of Fools. I don't know if you have read that. I also bought the upcoming books after the Blood of Elves, maybe now in the wrong order. I want to open this because I don't want to spoil things for myself. Time of Contempt. And then I have the Baptism of Fire here. So also looking good. I think that's great. Makes me think a lot about these extremely difficult, I mean, not difficult to get hold of maybe, but the extremely expensive Malazan versions that are out there. So, I mean, books shouldn't be that expensive, I think. I mean, you can always go around it by buying paperbacks, or you can buy it on the Kindle if you have that, or any other digital source for reading books. But you can do that as what you like. If you want to make it an expensive hobby or medium or extremely cheap, and you can of course go to the library. When I read the books of The Witcher, I think the thing that you are not Geralt is interesting. I read a chapter in The Blood of Elves where they are on I think called a barge. I didn't know what it was in English. Actually, the translation of the Witcher books are so, I think. Sometimes I really don't understand the sentence or the meaning, the words. I had to look it up, and then maybe I have to figure out anyway. There is a lot of, you can say, maritime language, and especially in one chapter in Blood of Elves, so that was a bit tricky for me. But the thing is that Geralt says nothing, almost, during the whole chapter. And that is very interesting. So there are other people here, other soldiers, for example, other friends he meets, like or acquaintances, like the dwarves, and we have Ciri, of course. We have Triss, Marigold, as well. So there are a lot of people here in the books that you also find in the video game, but then later, of course, but then the video games are not canon, so to speak. So I don't know how much you should put effort into that. The stories of the video games in relation to the books, it seems like they have their own life. I've also tried to play the board game a little bit more, and it's actually very tricky. There is a video here on the channel where I explain a little bit more about the board game, which is basically a deck building game with combined with a monster hunter theme, where you kill monsters and you also compete either with other witchers, other players, other friends you play with, or you play against yourself, because you try to complete the game in the fastest possible way. You have to kill 3 monsters and win a trophy. I'm just done a setup for the board game, and I will try to be more skilled with my camera later, but I'm turning my head around here and just showing you some of the monsters I drew or picked by random. Here you have the, it's a this is a ghoul's nest. A ghoul from a ghoul's nest, like this, right? And here you have the picture. Yeah, right. So I haven't started painting these yet. And then it looks like this, right? Sorry for the, here it looks. You can see them. Yes. And then I've drawn a character which I met in Witcher 3 as well. The Weavers. I think they are interesting. Sounds like there are weavers in Norse mythology. They weave the span, your thread, I mean the length of your life, they weave that. The thread, called nornor in Swedish. Here's the statue. I haven't started to paint the miniature or the statue yet. Looks like this. And finally, I have the Glusty Warp. I don't know if this monster says anything to you if you only play the game and read the books, for example. There you have the statue or the miniature. I've started to paint some of them as well, so I think this is the best looking one so far. I have them here, two, one. This is a werewolf. Let's see if you probably can't see it, so let's see if I can zoom it for you. Yeah, it works properly. Yeah, here you can see. So it's a werewolf, and then I have a, not sure about the name, right? It's actually looks like a gorilla, or yeah, you can see it. Looks like this. I have the cards behind me, so I don't want to turn around too much when I'm recording. So I can put them in the community page. Maybe you can guess what it is. So I'm curious. Everything of this is new to me, and you make attacks with these cards. Now I have to zoom out a bit. Sorry. Up. Yeah. These cards you play out. You either walk with them, or you attack with them, or you also defend with them. It's your defense. So if you're out of cards, you die. So it can be a tough game. So there's a lot of things I'm doing here with The Witcher, and also the mythological part of it, of course, with the Slavic mythology. I think Witcher is so rich. I mean, Malazan is very rich too, but Witcher is actually it's more simple, I would say, in a way more accessible. It doesn't have the density and complexity of Malazan Book of the Fall, neither when it comes to writing or when it comes to, I would say, the lore itself. But that doesn't mean it's, it's bad, The Witcher. I think the lore is on an acceptable level, in meaning, it's graspable. I think if you are not so used to lore and fantasy, I think Witcher is a great entry point. It's by no means easy, but it's very accessible, especially because it ties into folklore, just you could say superstition, in a way that I think Malazan Book of the Fallen doesn't do. It ties in more to mythology and the epics, like the Iliad and the Odyssey and the Mahabharata and so on, which is of a simpler kind, I would say, but very enjoyable as well. So where am I heading in this Witcher project? Well, I'm going to paint more miniatures. I'm going to read more of the book. I really enjoy Blood of Elves. I think it's maybe that it will change, but I really feel that he is a short story writer, Sapkowski. And I think the first, 150 pages of the book were very connected. And now I've come to, I think, in chapter 5 now. And it seems more like it's going back to this short story format. Erikson writes short stories all the time and then glues them together to a coherent whole. I think Sapkowski will do that as well. But we'll see. I mean, it's a marathon, these Sapkowski books. 8, I think they are, and there will come more books during the autumn as well. So we'll see. So I'm enjoying this a lot, and I just wanted to take a break from my reading. I will go back to read. Today it's I think it's 9 p.m. here in Sweden, so it could be a very nice way to finish this Saturday. I've been watching basketball the whole day. My daughter plays basketball, so I've been away, resting my eyes as well, because if you read much or using your eyes, playing video games, your eyes get strained, so you have to rest. So I'm curious to hear about what you think about this Witcher project. Where should I head? I'm talking about everything now, all the 3 formats as I've talked about. Maybe you want me to focus on the books, the video game, or the board game, or the lore, of course. So I intend to do some lore videos on The Witcher to come when as you know, when I have the time and when I want to. I have a few things planned on the channel. Tomorrow I'm actually going to record a chat with some oaky dude, Britain, Britain, and been invited to his channel. That will be nice. We'll do it tomorrow evening. The week after, I think it's the 14th of September, I will talk to Reverend J, the contemplative reader, and I'm also planning to do a Malazan lore video tomorrow. So there are a lot of things going on, and now my phone is beeping. It's the last day of the Ganesha Ganpati festival, Visarjan today, so I'm getting a lot of pictures from my country of birth, where I was adopted from, and a lot of Ganesha pictures on the elephant god. So that is also a topic for coming videos, the Hindu mythology, especially if you are interested in that. So I just made this video right off the bat, so excuse me for the rant, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the books. I'm especially interested to maybe hear your thoughts as well on the hobby, the book hobby. Does it need to be expensive, or do you prefer it to be extremely cheap, for example? How do you manage to do that? So I think reading should be something for everyone every day, and you should not be hindered by economic limits. So with that said, enjoy your evening. I'm continuing to drink my tea here, and we'll see you tomorrow actually. So have a nice day. Bye. Thank you.